Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome back to Let's Play Gecko 3 Deep Cover Gecko. In the last episode, we started fresh on Gangster TV, my Three Goons, and after 30 excruciating minutes, I managed to find the flag coin remote, and I got the first remote that involves burning all the funny money. Now we just need the root beer barrel remote and the remote that we get when we free Cuz from the mob. I'm actually doing this one in post-commentary because when I did the live commentary for this, for some reason I had like a lot of crackle. I thought maybe the box fan that I have to my right was causing it, but after unplugging the headset, wiping down the little 3.5mm connector, wiping down the headphone splitter, or at least the where I put the 3.5mm connection for the headphones in, wiping down that part at least with just a dry cloth, I pretty much stopped having problems after that, so that's no longer a thing. So now that I have post-commentary going on in a video where I did absolutely no practicing beforehand, that kind of gives me some time to talk about the game real quick. Or rather, throughout the video. I can't believe I did this. You can tell that I pay for this later on. First of all, 98 is the highest my count of lives is going to get. It's not going to reach 99. I'm going to tell you that right now. So once you reach 98 in this game, you have maximum amount of lives. You can't stockpile past 98 no matter how hard you try, so don't even bother. We don't have to go for flag coins for lives anymore. Yeah, keep thinking that maybe you can because I didn't know this at this point. But guess what? 98 is the highest you can go. And you kind of find this out right here when I pick up the extra life. Number 2. This game feels kind of a step back from 2. 2 had a lot of stuff going on. Though I do like the music in Gecko 3. It's just that Gecko 2 does things just a little bit better. I do like the fact that all the pickups you can get in the stages are very useful, like the paw print coins. They do let you increase your health, which could have been pretty cool for the second game, I think. And you got bonus coins that let you enter bonus areas, assuming you know where to find stuff. But 2 had a lot more things going on. And you didn't have a lot of full motion video cutscenes going on either. I wouldn't say there's a lot in this game, but at the same time, you didn't have like a bajillion of them. You didn't have one playing when you got a remote in a stage for the first time, or stuff like that. There were only the secret scenes that you could get from the clapboards, and that was it. So as a result, there were more levels that you could go through, and more things you could, definitely more remotes you could pick up at least. Also, to beat the goon who chases after you, just keep tail whipping regularly. Just doing regular tail whips as he chases after you. You should be able to beat him that way. Three, I kind of missed the hidden remotes, but at the same time I don't. It's already hard enough getting the flag coins in this game, especially when there are no tiers of tokens like in the second game. And when you die, any flag coins you pick up after the checkpoint come back, and none of them respawn, so it kind of makes it a little harder to get the reroad remotes here. 2 feels easier in a sense. Also, that's why I didn't get that flag coin. The Firefly power-up projectile picked it up. I forgot that was a thing, but I wasn't exactly paying attention when that happened. I do like that there is more uniqueness and individuality in the stages, though. You're not going to be playing the haunted house level twice in this game. You're not going to be playing the cartoon level twice in this game. Every world feels unique. Even if some of them are really bit difficult, like this one, or Untold Myth Stories. Other than that, I've been having fun. So, the reason why this video is 30 minutes is because, 1, I didn't do practice runs, and 2, I take forever to find all 5 of the root beer barrels because I didn't do any practice runs, and it shows. I do, however, try to get as much stuff as I can in case I can get an extra life, but sadly I was not able to. I couldn't get any more extra lives than I already did. I've hit max life at this point, which amazes me. I didn't think it would take me until near the end of the game to do it. Speaking of lives, it amazes me that I have not died a whole bunch in this game compared to probably the second game, my playthrough of the second game, which I find interesting. Like, the only times I've died are while I play through Unsolved Myth Stories, the mythology channel, which is just a testament to how difficult that stage is. It's practically the hardest stage in the game, bar none. And I died once doing a practice run of this stage live without having practiced it for the game. I should have just cut it off right there, but I thought it would be a good idea to do a practice run of a game I had never practiced before recording the video, kind of like Johnny Bazooka Tone. And probably just like last time, it didn't come out all that well. You'd think I'd know better than to do this, but nope, I keep doing this. And I accidentally jump right off the ledge, trying to get into the area where the first remote is, that I had to blast all the windows open with the Tommy gun to enter. I hate those rats, by the way. Spoiler alert, there are no root beer barrels in the Funny Money remote area. There's another area I'm supposed to drop down to. That's where the only remote I had trouble finding was. But again, because I didn't do practice runs, it took me forever to realize, oh hey, I need to drop down here so I can find that barrel. Takes me forever. So, now that that's out of the way, and I can't believe I did that. I thought I wouldn't eat the bug that way, but, well, I did. I decided I might as well just go ahead and just destroy these guys for the fly coins and just to get them out of my hair. So, that fly coin hunt from the last video, I should mention, really difficult. Turns out that second building rooftop with the pigeons on it, there were 3 pigeons there after all. I always kept thinking that there were 2 on that rooftop. Nope, there's 3. Which explains why the hunt for all the fireflies in this level, or the fly coins rather in this level, was just excruciating. As I mentioned before, getting the the fly coins in this game, getting all the fly coin remotes, very difficult to do. And I'm kind of paying attention to the waveform on Audacity there for a second. That's why I went silent. because I have the strange feeling that I'm going to have weird crackle again. Thankfully, I don't. If you ever hear like some weird wind whooshing noises, that's because I was using a box fan while I was recording the vocals live on commentary or during post commentary on Audacity. I've noticed this a lot in my later videos. This also explains why I'm comparing the second game to the third game, because while I'm recording this, I'm making the written blog entries for the second game. I'm revisiting that one and making guide entries for the game, for the second game rather, that will make it a little easier through written instruction to get everything. Get all the remotes, see what everything does, how to get through certain parts. And you're probably asking yourself, well, Watercress, how are you going to do that? It's kind of a 3D game. That would take a little bit of doing, and you have to write everything a certain way. 2 words. YouTube timestamps. And I'm pretty sure that when I make the guide entries for this game, assuming I make it to that point, which I probably will, I'll be using YouTube timestamps as well. Which will be nice. It makes a lot of things easier, because I can just make a timestamp so that when you click on a link, you get to that certain point in the video where I talk about a thing, and that way you can kind of read along and be like, oh, hey, this is a new thing in the level, or hey, this is how you get this. My videos are very much tuned to strategery, as George W. Bush would put it. It is very, everything I've done on this channel is very much strategy oriented. And there I go, falling off windows again. Windows and ledges and edges and all that. As I was saying, everything on this channel is very much tuned to strategy and how to do things. Even during the very early videos, like the very first playthrough of Batman Returns for Super Nintendo way back in 2013, where my commentary skills were just that bad, and I don't speak like this, and I just kind of speak more wooden like this. Like, I began with the end in mind, but you can tell that I didn't really have the skills to talk and play at the same time. Hopefully the early videos, guide entries, the early videos, written companions that I made all that time ago, I hope those things make up for the weaknesses in the early videos. I mean, these videos are not going to be perfect. There's things that I'm not going to know, even when I'm playing, such as with Gunstar Heroes on normal, where I'm unaware of the fact that you can move the turrets on the ship, or that I can do things, or that this move does a lot of damage. Very special thanks to Fusion Volt, by the way, for all that advice on things I should have known and things I should have done in Gunstar Heroes on the normal difficulty. By the way, in case I haven't made that known well enough, I will have to replay Gunstar Heroes on normal in the near future, just to say that I've gotten the game mastered a little bit. And I try to find root beer barrels on the ship. Spoiler alert, there aren't any. And I make the mistake of trying to climb from crate to crate just to get to the ship, when I should be using the tire to take a massive shortcut. That massive shortcut with the little bouncy tire you can just jump on and get some major air on to get to the second to last crate. That is a very nifty shortcut, and I recommend using it. Matter of fact, when you see me use it within the next couple of minutes or so, you'll be glad that I said, hey, use the tire. You'll be glad you did. And I'm going to turn the fan off real quick. See if it does anything. Okay, yeah, I'm not having any more problem with the microphone. Every time I have the crackle thing going on, I keep thinking that thinking that my microphone's about to bite the dust, which is kind of strange because I think I bought this set in July and I'm recording the commentary and making the video for this in late August. This will probably pop up in the fall because for some reason it takes me 2 hours, or not 2 hours, but 2 months to go from playing a game for Twitter to playing a game for YouTube and then playing a game for YouTube and then uploading it to YouTube. I make all of these in advance. So, therefore, any advice you probably give me, I probably already know about, assuming you use the comments. So I spend quite a bit of time here trying to find root beer barrels that I think exist in a certain area but don't. And there's that tire strategy that I was talking about. Use the tire if you're not going for the fly coins, because that will make it a lot easier to get to the ship. And while I go for the Cuz remote, in case this takes forever to do and I finally give up on the root beer barrels, spoiler alert, I don't. I eventually get that fifth and last root beer barrel for the second remote for the root beer barrels. So, yeah, that's pretty much what there is to be said, I guess, about this game. My comparisons between this game and the second one. And probably some other miscellaneous stuff that you probably always wanted to know the answers to, but never really asked. Or rather, answers to questions that nobody asked that made perfect sense for this channel, really. So, I keep spending time in the dock. I keep thinking that maybe that last remote is there, but after looking towards where the fire is, I realize that's not it, and I'm like, you know what? There's that one building area, that one area that I have to drop to get that fifth and last root beer barrel. But even then, that kind of takes a while. I still explore the perimeter of the area before I realize what it is that needs to be done. I might as well go ahead and compare this level to Unsolved Myth Stories, because I seem to have had a lot of difficulty with this and Unsolved Myth Stories. I keep wanting to call it Untold Myth Stories. It's Unsolved Myth Stories. This is hard. This can be a bit difficult if you don't know what to do. Untold Myth Stories is harder. Untold Myth Stories is a lot more difficult. Even when I knew what I was doing, even though there are these crate-throwing enemies who have quite the arm and can hit you from almost anywhere if you're in their vicinity, Unsolved Myth Stories is the harder level of the two. Because even when you know what you're doing, again, even when you know what you're doing, it's still a pain to deal with. All the backtracking if you fall onto the cloud platforms, finding out the hard way how to get all of the wind gust fly coins, the skeleton enemies being cheap as anything, the broken physics of enemies and ice cubes, especially like that one time where I pushed a frozen skeleton in an ice cube into a platform, or rather into a wall that I wanted to jump to. Even though I did that for fun, trying to utilize frozen enemies as platforms, I don't think was really tested by the developers very fully. There are still some things that I wish could have been refined about that. It does feel a little glitchy. It does feel very super glitchy at times. I still felt like I had to keep spitting the ice power-ups at the skeletons just so I can keep them frozen, because I had no idea how long they would be frozen, and I wanted to make sure they were frozen. Plus, you kind of have all the platforming near the end when you're trying to get to the final areas where the rainbow and that other remote is. There's the statue remote, there's the rainbow remote. There's that series of platforms or series of walls that you have to climb up for that one remote, and you have to freeze a skeleton to get up there, and you can push the skeleton right into the wall and it'll just disappear. And you kind of have to get a ice power up again and freeze the skeleton and hope you don't mess it up as badly as you did the last time. This one you do have the guys with the golden arms here who can throw the crates and nail you from almost anywhere if you're within their vicinity. If you're within their third of the perimeter of the level. But the level layout here is a lot better. You don't have a super long, overly long level design full of a lot of backtracking if you miss a jump somewhere. You can easily remember where stuff is. You can remember where the docks are. You can remember where the ship is. You know how the 3/3 of the perimeter of the level work. Once you figure out how to get up to the wall, which leads through the rooftops, that's pretty easy to remember. You don't have to split this up in as many sections as you did Unsolved Myth Stories. And once again, I keep thinking there's a root beer barrel up on this ship. There isn't one. It's on that one area you have to drop down at the rooftops, but yeah, try telling past me that. So, if anyone were to ask what's harder, this level or Unsolved Myth Stories rather, it's this one. It's not this one. I don't know why I said it's this one, even though I've said the whole last several minutes it's Unsolved Myth Stories. It's Unsolved Myth Stories. It's not this one. It's not this one is what I mean to say. It's definitely Unsolved Myth Stories. That's probably the hardest level, hands down, just because of how unpolished the utilization of frozen enemies is as platforms. It feels kind of rough and unfinished a little bit, like they didn't test some things. And the level layout was overly long, and the level felt long in the tooth. Plus, a lot of the platforming. If I didn't know any better, I would say that Unsolved Myth Stories was meant for later in the game. But then they decided to push it to the second hub world. No, the third. The third. because Unsolved Myth Stories is in Slappy Valley, not whatever that second one was called. Lake Flaccid, that's it. But anyway, I finally dropped down to that area, found the 5th root beer barrel, destroyed it, and got the remote for it. Thankfully, in the excruciatingly boring last video, if you can call it excruciatingly boring, where I did go for the remotes, I did show off how to get all 3, and then just went for the funny money one because, well, I knew how to get to it pretty quickly from where I was. But I did do the things that you needed to do for the second and third remotes in that video as well. It just took so long to get the second remote again because, again, I did not do any practice runs before making this video. So, again, that's why. So now we're going for the third remote. And this time I'm not going for the fly coins because I don't need them for extra lives anymore, and I've already gotten the fly coin remote, which I also keep wanting to call the reward remote now that I've gone back to looking at my footage from Gex to Enter the Gecko. And I almost didn't think I would break the lock here, but I did. Did that just in time with the last shot I could possibly make. So I finally decide to take my... take what I learned to the task. I still got hit, but not as much as I did the first time. And then I realized, what if we just go ahead and use the long kicks like I did the bear enemies way back in the mystery TV level from way back in the first overworld. That's a thing that I meant to mention. The overworlds. I do like the overworlds. You have multiple overworlds. You have Mission Control, you have Lake Flaccid, you have Slappy Valley, and you have Funky Town. A lot of the stuff that you do in the game is going to be in Lake Flaccid and Slappy Valley. Once you hit Funky Town, you're pretty much near the end of the game. There's only two regular levels, and then you have Res. So when I went to Funky Town, I'm surprised that I was that close to the end of the game. I thought maybe I would have like 3, 4, 5 levels like I did in Slappy Valley or Lake Flaccid. Imagine my surprise in Funky Town when I made it in there and found out that there were only 2. And that those 2 were the very last ones. There's only 11 levels in this game. I'm pretty sure that there are more in Gex Enter the Gecko. Of course, they do repeat level themes in the second game, as opposed to the third game where, again, every level is individual and unique. You have the holiday broadcasting, you have mystery TV, you have Gangster TV, you have superhero TV, mythology network, anime channel. They're all different. They have their own unique level designs. They all feel very, very apart from one another. You don't see themes getting repeated like in the second game. And just like that, I use the Firefly power-up to break the lock, free cuz, get the third remote, and we are out of here. So, again, the level individuality in this game, I really, really do like. It may not be as good as the second game is. It feels like a small step back, but I do like this game nonetheless. And that's pretty much all I have to say about this game. And all I have to say in this video. We're getting close to the end of the game. We just have the bonus level for this, another bonus level after that, the vault level, and we have Superhero TV. After that, it's on the res and we're done. So join me next time where I take on the bonus level for Gangster TV, or near Gangster TV, then head on to Superhero TV and get that much closer to the end of the game. So until then, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching!